There was a small but closely knit Jewish community, and my family, actually I went to Hebrew school at a small synagogue, which eventually joined another small synagogue, and the two congregations together formed a synagogue which was called B'nai Jacob Beth Israel, which was located on Minnesota Avenue. And we had a very, very active community group. I was active in the teen group, United Synagogue Youth, USY, at that time. And so I can honestly say that the Jewish community was closely knit, very supportive, and formed for me the greater part of my social life during that period of time. 1954 was an extraordinary year in my life, and I think in the life of the city. I came to understand as I graduated Ann Beers Elementary in 1954 that during that summer the Supreme Court decision had been regarding school integration had been made. And as I look back on it, I knew, and I even knew then, that Washington was the crucible, whereas there were court appeals and other issues which occurred in cities and other communities across the nation. Washington became the experimental city. We were the social experiment. And between June and September of 1954, the schools of Washington, D.C. were integrated, just like that. And so the faculties were integrated, the student bodies were integrated, and it occurred in a period of 3 months, from the date of the Supreme Court decision till the following September, when we all entered integrated schools. And there was nothing, really nothing, to prepare us for it. So there was nothing really that prepared us as students, as pupils, to understand the magnitude of the changes that were occurring. And it just happened. So I have such a clear memory of glancing out a school window which overlooked the hill behind the building. And gathered there were a huge, I'll say mob, of high school students who had marched over to our building and were screaming and shouting epitaphs and other language concerning the integration issues. I didn't understand. It was frightening. And as I was standing there looking out the window at the mob on the hill, a black student, and I guess we would have said Negro in those days, student, came up the staircase behind me. And she was crying. And even now when I think about it, I'm still moved by that experience. When my parents bought that house after the war, the Korean War that is, the neighborhood, the community was totally white. And there were at least a number of Jews, including family members, in that area. But within a short period of time, I think the term was blockbusted. real estate agents who saw a chance to make a profit brought black buyers into the community. And as soon as one house was sold, white flight ensued. Because the reality was that when my parents were forced to sell, or decided to sell, they did so because the value of that home had dropped significantly in a very short period of time. And so in order not, so they had no choice. And that house was sold to a black family. And within a very, very short period of time, the entire community had changed from a white community to a black community.